Happy Friday, June 12th. I'm Paul Hukalak. Lisa's away today. Well, on a beautiful day like today, it's very easy to think about Rockn August. Now, Rockn August will be a little bit different this year thanks to COVID-19. Canada Post has hooked a would-be mail thief, and the city prepares for stage 2 reopening. All that and more. But first, well, have you checked out our new TV7.ca website lately? It looks great. We've done a complete overhaul of the site. It loads faster. You can search for content easier, and we have a ton of new features. Now, it's the only place for exclusive interviews, extended stories, and bonus content. You can always check it out at www.tv7.ca. As we talked about the changes to this year's Rockn August last week. Now, instead of the always popular car show down at Lions Park, they'll be doing 2 parades around our St. Albert neighborhoods. This new format should allow us to get out and see the cars while maintaining a proper social distancing guidelines.
Rockn August is coming up. It's a challenging year. Most of the car shows this summer have been canceled. We decided to proceed and look for a way to do it in a way that will work with the social distancing and the guidelines set out by Alberta Health Services. We're going to be doing some cruises through St. Albert. This will give people an opportunity to not just sit by their cars, but actually drive their cars through the neighborhoods of St. Albert, see some spots that they haven't seen before, and check out all of these beautiful cars. Grab a lawn chair, pick a spot, social distance, of course. We should have the cruise routes available on the website. You can check those out and join up with your family and friends 6 feet apart and watch the cars go by. Rockn August is one of the largest fundraisers for diabetes research in Alberta. And to date, we have raised over $1 million for diabetes research. This is the 24th year of Rockn August.
For the scheduled parade routes, or for more information on how you can participate, check out the Rockn August website. Mindset and emotion coach Karen Armstrong is here with some advice for those of you feeling tension in your home caused by the pandemic.
Today, I would like to remind everybody that what you focus on in life, you will feel. So if you by chance are experiencing any kind of negative emotions in your life right now, it is because your mind is working through some negative thoughts. It's having some negative thoughts. So if I were to ask you to direct your attention to the feeling of your sleeve touching your arm, would you be able to feel it? Of course you could, but you were wearing your shirt all day and you weren't paying attention to it, you didn't feel it. So that's just a demonstration that where you put your focus, you will think, and what you think will create how you feel. So why I bring this up is because right now a lot of people are experiencing tension within their home environment, within their relationships, and they're struggling with that. So in those moments when things aren't going well, it's a great time to step back and do an assessment. Are you focusing on particular things that are bothering you and not balancing out with the full truth? So if your children or your partner are leaving things around, or they're in your space or doing things that are annoying you, is that something that you're focusing on and constantly feeling when you see them? If it is, what you can do is to take a step back and see what else is true. Keep in mind that your thinking mind, your conscious mind, can only handle 7 to 9 items. It would be best to write it down on paper. Do like a pro and con type list and see what is there so that you can now see that person in full view. When you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to completely change the way you feel when you're around that person. So the physical environment or the characteristics of that individual will not change, but your experience of them will, and therefore the quality of your life will improve as well. For TV7.ca News, I'm Karen Armstrong.
And no surprise, COVID-19 has changed our reality. And for local musician John Horyanchka, that's forced him to get innovative with his creativity. Unable to perform in conventional venues, He's taken to performing on his front yard, in public parks, and as we talked about last week, his band, the 7-Day Sinners, will be playing in the back alley behind Gracie Jane's this weekend. Performing again from somewhere on La Rose Drive, here's John Horyanchka.
Took our time finding out who we were. The years they went by, something still wasn't clear. No one could ever compare to you. Why did you even try? It may have taken us years to figure that out when we were young and full of pride. Well, now I want that love, I want the love again, like we had in the beginning, when I never thought that it would end. As fate would have it, here we are both now, once again together, like it was yesterday somehow. Well, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It took us years to figure that out. We were young and full of pride. Oh, now I want that love, I want the love again, like we had in the beginning, when I never thought that it would end. I want that love, I want the love again, like we had in the beginning, when I never thought that it would end. Life, it always seemed to be so unfair. All those years we spent apart from each other, when we both still really cared. I want the love, I want the love again, like we had in the beginning, when I never thought that it would end. I want that love, I want the love again, like we had in the beginning, when I never thought that it would end. Now I want the love again, like we had in the beginning, when never thought that it would end. No. Thank you.
Well, like me, have you ever heard of bait cars before? Now, this is where law enforcement take a specially modified vehicle and place it in high crime areas with intent of having it stolen. Once the vehicle is activated, it notifies the police, allowing them to easily track and apprehend the suspect. A 38-year-old Edmonton man found out the hard way that this effective tool is now being used by Canada Post. Now, that's right, Canada Postal inspectors are working with our local RCMP and are attempting to decrease mail theft from community mailboxes in our area. Postal inspectors have used bait mail in other locations and are now using them in fact, St. Albert. Bait mail items are placed in mailboxes to help apprehend thieves and notify authorities when they are removed from their location. On June 4th, at approximately 4:20 a.m., St. Albert RCMP were notified by postal inspectors that one of the bait mail items was in fact on the move. RCMP members were able to locate the individual in possession of the stolen bait mail. 38-year-old Igor Igorovich Ryabov from Edmonton was charged with theft of mail and other charges related to the incident. He was released on a cash deposit and scheduled to appear in St. Albert Provincial Court. Inspector Pam Robinson was quoted as saying, St. Albert RCMP will continue to work with Canada Postal investigators to enforce laws and to promote public safety. Now, if anyone has information about this or any crime, they, of course, are always asked to contact the RCMP detachment at 780-458-7700. And every week, we welcome Stephanie Cordova with tips on how to get organized.
If you've been following all these posts and still struggling to find yourself organized, here is a list of 10 things I've compiled to help you get there this summer. 1. Decide there is no other option. Decide that getting organized takes priority over mundane things like binge watching TV, sleeping too long, and other distractions. They are keeping you from your goals. At the end of the day, which one decreases your stress? Sure, binge watching numbs you, but getting organized has lasting benefits that will help you so that you don't need to distract from the day's chaos. Then you can do it just for fun once everything is organized. 2, find everything a home. Sorting, putting things that are alike together, and finding a home for them. Educating your family where everything is will help you find things and give everything a place to go. Tidying up is easier this way. It may require buying a hook here, a bin there, or maybe even a cabinet, but it will help immensely. Things that you could use seasonally or for holidays should be stored out of sight in the garage, basement, or storage room. 3, make lists. Seeing a manageable list of things to do each day is very motivating. Then reward yourself with that glass of wine, call to a friend or family, or Netflix show. Get your chore done first. The same way you would teach your kids about responsibility before fun. 4, schedule the time in. You've heard the saying, what gets scheduled gets done. It's true. Commit a bit of time each day or a larger chunk of time once a week to get some stuff done that will be good for your mental health. You take time to go to massages and get your hair done. This is no different. It feels good when complete, and it's good for your self-care with longer lasting effects than a massage. 5, delegate. If your children are old enough to fold their own pile of laundry, get them to do it. Imperfect as it is, you are teaching them and delegating so that you have less to do. Maybe it's that you hire someone to do some of the things that are your least favorite. Asking a friend to help you while enjoying their company may be how you can accomplish your goal. Use the strengths and time of others. 6, purchase less. If stuff is your stressor, why add to it? We have quickly realized how little stuff we need, let me stress, need during this pandemic. So buy the necessities, stay away from sale items of the things you don't need, and save yourself some money and some stress at the same time. Less stuff equals less tidying up, which equals less stress. 7, when you take something out, put it back. When you drop something, pick it up. Getting into the discipline of doing small things consistently towards your goal, it will become easier. Habits are formed by making choices repeatedly. It's amazing how a room just feels less cluttered, having everything off the floor and things put in a place. 8, eliminate the unused things that are taking up your physical and mental space. It's easier to stay organized if you only have things that you need around your house. If you pass over things often to get to your used items or your favorite items, that is an indication to you that you could part with some of those things. If you don't read the newspaper, ask that it isn't delivered anymore. If your email is overflowing or it's just another to-do list that stresses you out, unsubscribe from as many emails as possible. 9, Look for the spaces in your home that are void, like using your walls and ceiling spaces for the basement areas to store items, instead of using all the floor space in a storage room or bedroom, for example. See how you can build up a system so that you are using more vertical space for storage. This will give a less cluttered look and make the space more functional. And 10, and finally, prioritize. What is most important to you? Your mental health or all the stuff? Your peace and serenity or all the stuff? A place to relax or all the stuff? Sometimes you cannot have the best of both worlds. Our homes should be the escape from the stress, not the cause of it.
I want money.
Good morning. Hope that everyone is still hanging in there. It's been a bit of a long haul. Something interesting came to my attention today. The CRA has been putting in place some legislation around disability tax credits. Now, disability tax credit is a form that you can fill out if you have an impairment or a disability that your doctor considers prolonged and life impacting. And what happens is they fill out the forms and you can apply for a credit that you can use during tax season as a tax credit to get a refund. What's happening is there are a significant number of Canadian firms that are assisting people in completing these forms for a percentage of kickback. So some of these firms are charging 15 to 40% of whatever the client is getting back. And in a number of cases, this is for a number of years retroactive. So a lot of clients are getting a significant amount of money. An example that they've utilized is that a firm in Alberta charged 35% of the refunded amount for a disability tax credit that was applied for a child of a family. So the disability tax credit application was completed. It was sent in by this firm, and the firm did some advisory services. And I'm not saying that it's not important to deal with somebody that is very knowledgeable in this subject area, but the government is now saying that when you're charging 35% of a tax refund for people that are trying to get money for disability purposes, that shouldn't be allowed. So what they've done for the last 6 years is tried to put legislation in place to cap how much the fees can be for assistance in preparing the 2201 forms and giving advice on disabilities. And that was supposed to go through about this time this year. But because of COVID-19, the team that's putting through that legislation and building out the documentation and the tax interpretation bulletins and everything around that has been put on hold. So because of COVID-19, we're impacted in another way. And so what's happening is some of these firms are still going out and saying to people, if you're having financial struggles and you have a child with ADHD or a wife that has debilitating migraines, or maybe you didn't realize that blindness in one eye that's impacting your life that you can qualify to fill out these forms to get this large tax refund, because you can go retroactive for several years, and it is a significant refund that the person helping you to navigate through this can still take large amounts of money, a large portion for doing that. So the government is still pushing through this Disabilities Act, stating that you no longer can take large amounts. It's just not done now. And they're saying that they don't know, because of COVID-19, when that's going to go through. So we could still see these types of things happening over the next year or two. It has been in the works for 6 years, which is a significant amount of time. And the unfortunate thing is that although it's important to have advisory services, it's important to make sure that those forms are completed appropriately so that you can get the appropriate tax refund that you qualify for. It's not necessary for some of these firms to be charging such large amounts of money to fill out that paperwork or give advisory services. Now, that being said, there are still some firms that will only do those advisory services and form completion and assistance with the administration portion at an hourly rate, which is much more reasonable, because we don't want anyone taking advantage of these people that need the disability funds. So Just so that you know, there are some changes coming down the pipeline for caps on fees for accounting firms and legal firms that are assisting with this. If you need more information about the disability tax credit, if you suspect that you can qualify for something like that, it is important to have a consultation appointment with somebody, sit down and have a discussion. There are many families that are impacted by many different mental illnesses, disabilities, impairments, and don't even realize that they can qualify for this tax credit. So it is important to have that discussion with somebody. Just be careful who you talk to. I'm Crystal Lucier with Preferred Tax Solutions, and this is TV7.ca.
I want money.
Well, today is the long-awaited first day of the Stage 2 reopening, which includes several measures originally scheduled for Stage 3. Now, this includes indoor recreation, fitness and sports facilities, as well as pools for leisure swimming. At yesterday's Emergency Management Advisory Committee meeting, they set out 6 guiding principles for administration to take into consideration when planning for recreational and cultural facility reopenings. The recommendations included prioritizing outdoor facilities, indoor ones wherever feasible, and facilities will only be reopened once they are ready. The committee also suggested identifying what other regional partners are doing and considering the impacts of their decisions. Now, the prioritization of reopening facilities to meet the demand of user groups and the impacts of service levels and resource capacity will also be considered. Organizational risk and responsibilities was also discussed by the Emergency Management Advisory Committee during their meeting. Administration will present a master plan for facility relaunch using these guiding principles next Thursday. The priority is to safeguard the health and safety of course, city staff and patrons as they plan to reopen both recreation and cultural facilities. And that's it. That's all once again for this week. Please do check out the brand new website at tv7.ca. And of course, if you have any community events or news you'd like to share with our viewers, please send us an email at news@tv7.ca. From all of us here at tv7.ca, I'm Paul Huckelak. Everybody, please stay safe, be kind, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.